What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to look at Elemental Shaman for a minute here, and we're going to look at the Stormbringer build for Ele Shaman. Now, I've done a comparison video between Farseer and Stormbringer, comparing it on a more theoretical level and showing you some damage on the dummies. So I've done that video. You can go check that out. I'm going to look just at Stormbringer this time. I'm going to show you some damage right now on dummies as well, but we're going to go into a delve and we're going to actually see how this looks in a real sort of functional, not a dungeon environment, because getting into dungeons right now is like literally impossible, but I can show you in a delve what it looks like from that perspective in a real practical environment. Okay, here's my item level. My gear is all trash. It's pretty terrible. Okay, it's not very good. Let me show you what a storm build could do on a 5-target cleave dummy here. Dummies, sorry. This is the build I'm running. I do have lightning rod. This lightning rod node is still not yet implemented, so there's going to be a lot more damage actually coming. And there's other weird quirky things like Tempest is still not benefiting from any of our haste really that we're getting, and it also doesn't work with nature swiftness, so you can't nature swiftness and get an instant cast Tempest. I don't know why they haven't fixed this yet, but I've submitted several bug reports. They're going to work on it. Okay, this is the build that I'm running. I'm actively avoiding Echoes of the Great Sundering, and I'm actually avoiding Ele Blast. I was running this build with Ele Blast, and I actually probably still should. I don't know. I'm just going to try. Maybe we'll try it the other way. I don't want to run Echoes of the Great Sundering, but we might have to, because if I don't have Ele Blast, then I'm never going to get this one as well. So let's just run it this way just for now. I'm not entirely sure what build might work well for Ele Shaman, but it might be an Echo, or for the Lightning version for the Stormbringer Ele Shaman, it might end up being an Echoes of the Great Sundering build. I really do hope, of course, that Blizzard fixes Echoes of the Great Sundering and makes it not as annoying as it is right now. I really hope that's the case, but we'll see. Anyway, it doesn't. Here's the build in action. You don't have to do very much, okay? You don't have to do very much at all. There's a Tempest proc. Look at our damage right now. Our damage is insane. Our damage is really, really crazy right now. And I think that in a large AoE, like an uncapped AoE situation, I really do think that your Stormbringer Ele Shaman is going to be performing very well. This is just my hunch. The damage that this is doing right now is pretty good. Remember, it's alpha. The damage is going to change. I'm aware of that. You guys were commenting in the other video. But the reason I want to show you it now is just to give you a sense of what it feels like. Right now, the sense that I have is that the damage is good. Compared to all the other specs that I've tested right now on the same testing dummies, the damage is actually pretty strong. So that's something just to keep in mind. It's just to keep in mind. It doesn't mean it's going to stay like this. It doesn't mean anything necessarily. It just means that right now the damage is very good, and I could see this working. If the game went live today, this would be a good build. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That makes sense? I just want to make sure I'm clear about that, because some of you guys were like, well, you're talking about damage numbers, then you're saying don't worry about damage numbers. I'm saying that in the context of, like, every build I've tested so far, this one's performing pretty well actually from a numbers point of view, but that's going to change. It's going to change. It's alpha. We're going into beta soon. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, the build is very simple, but, you know, the damage is good. The build is really simple. You're not doing that much in terms of the tree. The tree just functions really, really well with all of the abilities that you're using. Okay. You're reducing movement speed with the crits. You have increased critical strike chance of these spells, which is fantastic. You can basically run a full overload build on the lightning side of things with overload. So it means that your overloads are doing more damage. You're basically guaranteed to get overloads because of surge of power, right? For chain lightning, it just makes you hit an additional target. But when it comes to single target damage, this is really, really good, right? You cast Earth Shock, and then your next lightning bolt is going to overload twice. Those overloads are going to do even more damage than they normally do. On top of that, your lightning bolt and chain lightning overloads have a 50% chance to cause an additional overload. So the fact that you're getting 2 overloads from your lightning bolt will overload again, which is really, really cool. One second, I need to check my map. We're going to head to this delve, and we're going to run this delve. So yeah, I think that the tree functions very, very well with a pure lightning point of view, this is a really good talent right here. Arc Discharge is sort of the cornerstone of your AoE damage. It really allows you to pump out a bunch of free chain lightnings. They're also instant cast, which is awesome. And it generates just a ton of Maelstrom for you, which is going to get you back to your next spender, which is going to make the cycle continue, right? So I think this tree is really good. And if the lightning rod, once the lightning rod stuff starts working, you're going to get even more damage, because you saw in the training dummies there, I had like 3 or 4, sometimes 5 lightning rods going. So imagine if you had this conductive energy talent working as well. Lightning rod targets now also take 20% of the damage that Tempest deals. Insane, right? And then Tempest applies another lightning rod, so you would get just even more splash damage going on. So on the uncapped sort of AoE part of fighting, if you're in a Mythic Plus dungeon environment, this build is really, really good. And on the single target side, you're really leaning hard into your overloads. You're getting lots of overloads from Surge of Power. Those overloads are going to cast additional overloads. A 50% chance is very, very high. You can get even more overloads from Power of the Maelstrom, and then all of our overloads are doing more damage, okay? So this is the idea that we're going for here. You could run this as an Ele Blast build with Elemental Equilibrium. Totally fine to do that. Okay, 100% you could run a build like that. And then, of course, your Ele Blast overloads are going to trigger 50% of the time, so it's even better. But I'm just going to not do that right now. I want to see how much value I can get out of a cheaper Maelstrom spender. So the reason I'm doing Earthshock is because Surge of Power will proc every time I hit Earthshock, and my Ele Blast is almost twice as expensive. It's about sorry, never mind. It's 50% more expensive than Earthshock. So if I'm casting it 50% less often, I'm getting 50% less procs on Surge of Power. You get where I'm going with this, okay? So let's try a delve here. Remember, 507 item level. I have no enchants. There's nothing. My haste is terrible. It's really bad. My haste should be double this right now. It should be like 35 to 40%, and I don't have that. And then these are my talents. We're going to go into this delve here. Okay, it's a tier 3 delve. That's the highest that I can do right now. Once season 1 begins, we can start doing higher tier delves. Okay, right now this is the highest I can do. This is the Fungal Folly. It's got explosive spores that are in it, which are pretty interesting. And this is a really fun delve. I love this one. We're going to talk to this guy. We're going to start the quest. I will dive into the caravan. We are looking to rescue his friends. Okay, that's what we need to end up doing. You do a little jump down here. Love this part. Honestly, guys, I am really excited about the delves in the game. I think they're going to be really fun. I think Bran is functioning very well right now. I have Bran as a healer, by the way. But I think the delves in themselves are actually really, really fun. So there's a worker I need to rescue right there. Let's get some chain lightning damage going. Here we go. We'll do a couple of these. Let's get Earthquake on the ground. So obviously in a real environment, the damage goes down. I just sent a chain lightning into nowhere. The damage is going to go down quite a bit. That's just the way it goes, right? I mean, it's not because this is a crappy spec. It's because in a perfect world where you're standing in front of training dummies, it's much, much easier to do a lot of damage, okay? Very, very easy. I got to rescue this guy without touching this spore. Let's try and do that. And let's head over here. We get Stormkeeper every 50 seconds as well. That is another awesome talent that we get. So occasionally you're just going to get really, really big. Okay, I have a Stormkeeper proc. Let's do Tempest. Let's see if Tempest actually overloads here. No, it doesn't. Okay, that's fine. So once we use Tempest and we hit more than one target, you can see we get those chain lightnings, which are really good. I haven't even used my cooldown yet. I guess I'll use them now. I should have used them earlier on. But you can see, I think this damage is fine, guys. One thing that's really, really cool that we're going to start to notice is when you have your Storm Elemental up, he ends up doing, you get the cast speed, right, on your Chain Lightning. Look at how fast I can cast here. So we're casting quicker and quicker and quicker the more that we have our Elemental up, okay? That means that I'm going to be able to proc the capstone node a lot more often. The capstone node makes it so that every time I cast lightning bolt, it just happened right there. See that big shock that came down? Whenever I cast lightning bolt or chain lightning, I have a chance to strike my target for additional nature damage. And then every 3 times this happens, I'm going to trigger a tempest. So when your storm elemental is active, your cast speed on your chain lightning and lightning bolt go through the roof, right? You get that ever increasing cast speed, which is really good. That's going to trigger this capstone node a lot more often. You're going to get those free lightning bolts coming down, just zapping people. And it's really good. Obviously, this build scales incredibly well with haste, okay? It just scales really, really well with haste. And I think that you're going to really be incentivized to get at least probably like 40% haste or something. If you don't get that much haste, I feel like you're just going to be in for a rough time. But look at all the lightning that's coming down here. We're doing plenty of damage here. That was just a 3-target pack that I killed right there, doing lots and lots of damage. Let's group up some people here. Do that, and then you, and then bring it over here. Also, remember, the whole time that we're doing damage with any lightning spell, we are reducing the cooldown of our storm elemental. That includes Tempest. The new Tempest ability that we got also does that for us, which is really, really good. So our Storm Elemental is going to be back really soon. That means your Storm Elemental cooldown, instead of it being a 2.5-minute cooldown, it's very likely to end up being like a 1-minute cooldown, maybe like a 1.5-minute cooldown tops, something like that. I don't know where that guy's going.
I need to target something first.
There we go. We'll do Earth Shock into a Lightning Bolt. We'll get multiple overloads here. Look at that. Look at that. Wasn't that sick? Do you see that? That was multiple overloads happening, and they triggered multiple Awakened Storms. That's what we're talking about here. That's why this is so cool, and this is why this synergizes together. When you hit that Earth Shock, and then you cast a lightning bolt, you're getting 2 overloads guaranteed, and then those can overload again, and they can trigger Awakened Storms. Like, that was the effect that I was looking for, and it happened right there. You can see the power of that effect, I think, especially in a single target situation. In an AoE scenario, you're relying more on arc discharge to do a bunch of extra damage, and we're going to show you that right here. This is like a little gauntlet I have to do. Look at that. That was huge damage. That was my free Stormkeeper that I got. Okay, here we go. More damage. We're going to do our own Stormkeeper. Now we'll do a Earth Shock into a Tempest. Then we're going to have an overloaded Lightning Bolt here. Watch this. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on. We got the boss now. Here we go. Let's get our Ellie going. And then we're going to do Earth Shock into Lightning Bolt. We're going to get a bunch of... Oh, this is Tempest first. Okay, a bunch of Lightning Bolts here. You can see the overloads happening. Big procs there. You just end up getting so many free Lightning Bolts. It's really fun. And I think it makes it worth it to take Earth Shock over Ele Blast. I think that the play is definitely Earth Shock over Ele Blast for this build. We just rescued all those guys. Let's go over here. We'll hit these little lily pad things here. We did this right. Goats rescued. Is there another guy chilling here somewhere? No. Wait, I'm 6 out of 10. Shoot. I missed a guy. Let's just keep going, actually, and see if there's an extra guy for me to rescue. I don't know how... These sort of trees, these little mushrooms bounce you. Okay, there's a boss here. This guy's actually pretty tough. We're gonna hold our lust. This is gonna be a tough fight. Let's see what happens here. We have to hold our kick here for this right here. Yeah, that's fine. Here comes Tempest. He knocked my Ellie back. That's okay. I think he's healing my Ellie. I can't tell if he's healing my Ellie or not. There's that mini boss. Much easier if you have an Ellie. If you have an Earth Elemental with you. Okay, we got some more haste. So let's see how this feels with a little bit more haste, okay? This is actually great. I love getting this. Nice to get a little... This is how this might feel. This might be a little bit more realistic on how this might feel. Here's my Tempest. Tempest is much faster, right? It feels a lot better. Lots of lightning bolts going off. Lots of overloads going off. Here's another guy I gotta rescue. Yeah, so I think with a lot of haste, this is gonna feel really good. I think if you have sort of 19% haste like I have now, it's gonna feel miserable, man. It's not gonna feel good at all. Wow, that just deleted everything. There we go. Big overloads here. Look at that. I mean, that just feels good. And again, remember that the lightning rod talent is still not even working yet. That's going to be another important one. Whenever our Tempest comes down, it's going to do big damage. Big damage there. So let's keep going here. We have two more guys to rescue. Hopefully there's another guy here. I didn't screw this up. We're getting towards the end here. There should be one more guy up here. The power over here for me to get. There we go. Size, health. There is a rare here. Okay. Earth Shock into Lightning Bolt, into Lava Burst, into Earth Shock, into Lightning Bolt, into Lava Burst, into Earth Shock, into Tempest. You can see the kind of cadence that you have there. Look at the extra explosions going off. That was huge. Earth Shock into Lightning Bolt always, and you get all these extra lightning zaps coming down. Okay, this should be... Is there a guy up here? Please tell me there's a guy up here. There isn't. Okay, this is where the boss fight happens. Let me go find the guy that I missed. Okay, we got the boss fight. I just found the last guy. Let's head to the boss. We will fight him. But yeah, I think I'm really digging this build. Initially, when I first looked at Stormbringer for Ele Shaman, I was like, this is garbage. This does not feel good to play. I'm kind of just like pressing lightning bolt or chain lightning over and over again. It is simpler, I would say, than the fire build, which is going to end up being the other tree, the Farseer tree. It has a slightly more complexity, but the reality is it actually does decent damage right now, and it's fun. It's fun to have all these proccing like lightning storms going off and just wrecking enemies. Like, that is really fun to me. So, okay, let's go elemental with our heroism here. And let's get in there, baby. Okay, Earth Shock into Lightning Bolt. We're going to move. Oops, I'm dying. Now, every time we cast Lightning Bolt, there's a chance we're going to bring down that extra proc, right? So it's like really worth it for us to just press. There it is. A couple came down right there. We'll keep Earth Shocking into Lightning Bolt. I think during your Storm Elemental window, you really just want to prioritize Lightning Bolt and Earth Shock, and you're going to be surprised with the amount of damage it does. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how much damage you're just pressing Lightning Bolt as much as possible, because you're going to get these Awakened Storm procs. You just will. And it's going to be really good. There's the treasure room there. I can't look at the overall numbers of what we did. I guess I can look at... That's current fight. Let's look at damage. Total damage. Oh, that's total healing. Sorry. I don't know if there is a total damage. Anyway, the point is, it's good. I think the damage is fine. I know I've talked about damage being like not the most important thing right now. I get that. I'm not trying to like contradict myself, but just compared to what I've seen from other specs, this damage is actually pretty good. And practically in a real world scenario in like a delve, it feels good as well. So I just wanted to highlight that for you guys. I think the Stormbringer build is an actual contender here for a decent build, probably on like uncapped AoE Mythic plus dungeons where there's just lots to pull. Think about like an Everbloom or an Algathar Academy kind of situation. This build I think is going to be superior to the Farseer one. The Farseer one is like the fire build, obviously, and it's very, very good at like 6 target cleave, maybe a little bit less even. This I think just has more practicality in that big AoE environment where your lightning Your earthquakes are going down. They're proccing lightning rods. The lightning rods are doing extra splash damage based on the other lightning damage that you're doing. And then once conductive energy works, your tempest is going to come down and it's going to splash damage into those lightning rods as well. It's just really, really good. I like this tree. It's actually fun to play. It's a simpler lightning version for Elemental Shaman, and I think it's really back, honestly. I think you could run this with Earthshock, or you could run it with Ele Blast. I think the choice is really up to you. What did I drop for this? I had to drop something. I don't know if it's this Maelstrom, maybe. Anyway, I think there's a couple different build paths. I would encourage you, I think, just to run with Earthshock, though, because you have a higher chance of proccing Awakening Storms, because you're casting Earthshock and then you're getting those overloaded lightning bolts in single target. They have a chance to supercharge and overload again, and then you might get more procs on Awakened Storm. So I love the way this all works together. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think there's a viable lightning build for Elemental Shaman going into the War Within? Please let me know what you think. Do you think this is a good enough build? Would you play this? We'd love to hear from you down there. Thank you so much again for watching. Love y'all. I will see you in the next one.